Hello everyone, welcome back to our comparative analysis and strategy class. In this session, we will work with the concept of analysis of the demand. Okay, we have to recall and we have to remember our economic class. Okay, and let's take a look. So the first thing that I would like to speak with you is the importance, no? While you are defining your strategies and you are wanting to get into new markets or maybe working with new products, well, actually you need to know about how the demand works, okay? Maybe it's not a concept that we are quite used to, but it's something that in marketing, business, and the majority of all majors that relate with organizations, we need to understand because it could implicate the effect and, of course, the potential result of any strategy that you're doing. Okay, so we have to highlight the importance of also knowing about economics, you know, and knowing how things worked in certain environments in order to get the best result possible. Well, next thing, let's go with the definition. Okay, so demand can be conceived as the relationship between the price and the quantity demanded in a specific time frame, and of course it involves the behavior of consumers. It's important that when we talk about demand, we always remember that we're speaking about consumers, okay, consumption. And usually the tendency when we see this is that if you reduce the price of a product, the quantity that is requested usually increase. Okay, I know that there are some products that are high status and maybe they are more luxury, so they don't work in that path, but the majority of the curve of the demand works in that way. Okay, if you do a slight reduction of the price, that could be a potential in your increasement of sales. But again, let's take a look at this concept and, of course, the importance of working correctly with this topic. So, why do we need to know about the behavior of our demand? Okay, as I was mentioning at the beginning, every time that you're executing a strategy, you need to know the potential outcome. Let's say that you define that creating a new app or maybe doing a new website might give you new customers. Okay, but that investment also needs to know if it's potential, if it's something feasible or not. Another thing is the type of product that you're working with. Okay, certain products, even though that you reduce significantly the price, maybe they won't have more acquisitions or not as you were expecting. That's why when we are also analyzing this, we also need to know about elasticity. Okay, and not the one that we're talking about in a physical way. Elasticity involving economics. Another thing is like if your promotions, okay, when you're doing a slight reduction of the price, how is going to impact your sales? Because again, every execution that you're doing in the sales, okay, you need to know that will impact your net profit. Okay, it could be a wrong idea of giving high discounts if at the end the profits will be affected by. Okay, remember, we live for net profits, but of course we also need to use sales as a matter of analysis. And last but not least, forecast potential results. Okay, we have to know about what would happen in the future, and that's gonna be also based on patterns of consumption, things that we have done in the past, strategies that have worked or maybe they haven't worked in the past. And of course, all of this must be in a quantitative aspect, a quantitative level. Continuing, one of the things that you have to remember, particularly for the activity that is implicated, it's about developing the correct formula of what? The demand. For that, we have to know that here, as we can see, we have a formula which is price minus price 1 equals M times quantity minus quantity 1. Okay, as we can see here, this is the formula, and one of the things that you also need to know about what is the meaning of M, which involves the tendency of growth or reduction. Okay, here we also have the formula to calculate that tendency, in which case the demand works with reduction and usually supply works with growth. Okay, so another thing, it's here, as we can see the difference of prices divided by the difference of quantities. And let's take an example, which here we can see that if you have a price of 80 pesos in a retail store, it's quite known that maybe you're going to be selling 15,000 units. If we reduce the price by 10%, okay, we will be have an increase of 30,000 units. As you can see, if you reduce 10% of your price, you can double the sales. But here we have to define that equation, okay, the demand curve formula. And for that, what we have to recall is with the data that we already have available, okay, price of 80, you sell 15,000. If you reduce 10%, that's going to be 72. Then you might be selling 30,000 units. So the first thing that you have to calculate is the M, okay, the tendency of reduction, which here it's going to be price 2, 72 minus 80 divided by 30,000 minus 15,000. If you do this division correctly, okay, remember that you have to work with the things that are in parentheses. If you got those two, then you have the M. After that, you have to go to the original formula, which here, what you're going to substitute is actually P1 and Q1, which here we'll be working with price of 80 and a quantity 1 of 15,000. So with that information, you put it in the formula and then you make the proper calculation. And of course, you will get at the end price minus price equals minus 0.0053 Q plus 87.99. So this is the formula that you will be using. Formula, then you can move next thing, which if our dilemma in which they want to sell 23,000 units, okay, what is the price that you can establish? And for that, well, you have price, then you put minus 0.00053 times 23,000, which is the units that you want to sell, plus 7.25. With that information, it's 75.76. That should be the pricing. And if the patient wants the price unit. So here is work with quantity. Okay, we work with the same. Now we do 87.85, and that results 0.023. That equals to 33,087.92 units. But of course, because we can't sell had a situation. So as I was mentioning, okay, we were having this aspect of 33,867.92 units, and we have to get into the next unit because we cannot sell incomplete units. Anyway, this will be it for today. Thank you very much and have an excellent day. Bye-bye.